What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/EntitledPeople. This story's called Entitled Sister-in-Law Leaves Her Kid with Me for 2 hours. Almost makes me late for work. So I woke up around 8:50 a.m. Pacific Standard Time this morning. My sister-in-law, June 27th, just kidding, 27-year-old June, tells me that she has to go to the courthouse to drop off court papers. She asked if I could watch her son and our new puppy for a few minutes. I told her I have to be at work by 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, but yes, I'd be willing to. So the morning continues on, and it's 10:10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. My nephew's in school, and June tells me she's leaving. I thought she would be gone for about 30 minutes to an hour. I sit in the living room and watch YouTube on my phone. An hour passes. She's still not home, and her son just ended school. He goes to play in my room, and I talk on the phone with my boyfriend. I figured the courthouse in our area is pretty far, so I thought she would be on her way home. I have to start getting ready for work at 12:45. I gotta stop at 12:45, so I can start walking at 1 and be there at 1:30 p.m. I already want to quit this job and work my other one, but that is a story for a different time. It's now noon, and my nephew asked to call his mom. The conversation went like this. "Where are you, Mama? I'm on my way home now." "Why are you taking so long?" "I had a few errands to run." I felt my eyes widen at that comment. She went to run errands knowing I had to work soon. It's almost 1 p.m. now, and she hasn't come back yet. My nephew is screaming and not listening to me at all, and the puppy is no better. She better give me a ride to work for this. She could have told me she was gonna run other errands. Thanks for letting me vent. So she came back at 1:40 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I showed up to work early. But I had forgotten to turn off the laptop she was letting me borrow, so she went into my room for whatever reason, saw that it was on, and took it out of my room and said I wasn't getting it back because it's the third time I've left it on, and she's told me about this before. I left it on because I thought it would be a few minutes, then I could watch it again. I don't have cable, so I use the computer to watch TV. She said that because it wasn't the first time she told me about it, I wasn't getting it back. God, I can't wait till they move out. What's the big deal if you leave the laptop on? Am I just stupid? I don't get it. But anyway, seems like these sisters bicker a lot. But what's new? Alright, this story's called Entitled Driver Wrecks His Brand New Dodge Charger, Injures and Then Blames Me, a Pedestrian, for his wreck. Hey everybody, this is my first post on here. I'm on mobile, so forgive me for any format errors. Also, profanity in the story is censored. So, backstory. I work for a subcontracting company that does really niche IT work for various municipal governments, and my truck is loaded with equipment for computer repair and road work. Like I said, it's niche, but this becomes important later. As such, I currently have a 2-hour commute, and while I do use the interstate during the day, I usually head home closer to midnight and prefer to take state highways and back roads due to lower speed limits. So now for the cast. We have me, Brad, the entitled driver, Renee, my fiance and coworker, nice girlfriend, Brad's female companion, Chad, Brad's absolutely chill father. Now for the story. So as Renee and I were driving home tonight, we had noticed that a large rotted poplar tree had become uprooted and fallen into the road, covering both lanes. Normally, I would have called the local officials and then either waited for the tree to be removed or simply wait for them to arrive and then take a different route. Unfortunately, I had no cell reception in this area, and rerouting would have added an extra hour to my already long commute. As such, I figured I'd try to use my demolition hammer, the best thing available to me, to try and at least weaken it until someone came by with cell reception that we could flag down and get to call the local authorities. So I turned on our hazards, turned on our beacon, and Renee and I both put on our reflective vests and hard hats with built-in lamps. While Renee brought the tools over to the tree, I began grabbing the traffic cones to block off the road. Enter Brad. As I finished setting up the cones behind the truck, Renee began handing me the cones to put in front of the fallen tree. No No sooner had I begun reaching for them when we heard the roar of a brand new sunrise orange Dodge Charger RT flying up the back road with a 30-mile-per-hour speed limit at highway speeds. I ran in front of the fallen tree, shining my flashlight on the already well-illuminated tree, and tried to flag down the Charger. It was no use. He never even hit his brakes. I dove out of the way at the last second as the Charger plowed into the tree, turning it into a horizontal fulcrum and me into a baseball, as the tree struck my shoulder and launched me about 10 feet. Yikes! I got up, extreme pain throughout my left side, and unable to raise my arm up. Adrenaline coursing through me, I ran, hobbled quickly, to the remains of the poor obliterated Charger, now smoking and leaking fluids all over the road. Miraculously, Brad and nice girlfriend, both about my age, early 20s, got out and were completely unharmed, though understandably shaken. Renee, who miraculously found the one spot with coverage, called emergency services, and nice girlfriend called Chad. That's when I heard it.
Oh God, my car! How could this happen? Why does this always happen to me? What?
And that was when he looked at me, looked at the clearly uprooted tree, and proceeded to have a unique reaction. One that I never really thought ever happened. One that sounded like... thinking maybe he's injured too. Dude, are you okay?
No, idiot! Because of you, my car is completely totaled! What kind of moron cuts down a tree in the middle of a road?
Actually, the tree was already there. We only got here maybe 20 or
Beaver sausage! You blinded me with that flashing strobe light!
Pointing at the yellow hazard beacon on my truck, which I've used for years. Actually, I think that...
Shut up! All of you! I'm gonna sue you for failing to eliminate the tree properly!
This is irrelevant. Trying to be nice. Well, actually, that's...
If you open your mouth one more time, I'm gonna...
Renee, in all of her 4.5-foot glory.
Enough! It's not his fault that you clearly acquired your driver's license in a Happy Meal. That tree is very well illuminated. You clearly weren't paying any attention and you hurt him. Look at him, he's limping, idiots! You're the one who ought to be apologizing for that stunt you pulled and the mess you made.
Silence. Deathly unnerving silence as Brad stood slack-jawed and making a strange choral noise. Suddenly, Brad goes on an absolute rampage, kicking and throwing my cones, tools, and various other items from and around my truck into the forest and off the road's 15-foot embankment. I wish I could tell you more, but it was about that time that Chad arrived along with first responders. We gave statements, and I spent the rest of the time being checked out by emergency medical services. I'll update you tomorrow after his insurance company calls me. Update 1. I have not yet been contacted by his insurance company and have slept for most of today. My arm and leg are more sore today, and there's an odd crunching sound in my shoulder. I will be getting a copy of the police report tomorrow, and I will be seeing my primary care physician first thing in the morning. I'll update you guys tomorrow. Damn, man, that could have been way worse than it ended up being. Hopefully you fully recover, man, because geez. Movies make injuries like that seem so trivial. They just get up and keep going like it's nothing, and they don't, maybe just some light bruising. But damn, being whacked by a tree and being freaking flown 10 feet, damn, wild stuff. This story's called Female Classmate Pops Off at Me for Telling Her That We Were Not Going to Continue Doing Her Part of a Project. For some context, my science teacher gave us a project where we have to plan a green city. Now, me and my friend, who I'm gonna refer to as Jonah, has been put in a group with your typical football player and hot Cheeto girl, who are both entitled.
Football boy.
Entitled girl.
Now, for the story of what happened today. Today was rough for me, and it being Monday after Thanksgiving break, I was pretty exhausted since Jonah and myself had to do most of the project planning ourselves over the break, while Football Boy and Entitled Girl both were posting on their Instagram and Snapchat about their break. break. We got back today in class and it's after 6th period. I was tired and I wanted to break. Plus, Jonah's hands were cramping and locking up due to him having terrible arthritis in his hands. So I asked Football Boy and Entitled Girl if they would help us out on the project today. Since we did most of the work, I thought maybe they could help us on the drawing and planning part. Boy, was I more wrong than I ever been in my life. Football Boy looked at me like I asked him to jump into a lava lake because he looked at me and these were his words.
Wow, we already do so much and you two don't do anything. So I think you should do your part and I'll sit here and watch you.
The look on my face was like pure anger. I wasn't in the mood for any of that bullcrap, so I walked off and went over to Entitled Girl, and she basically said the same thing. So at this point, you can probably guess I was hotter than all 9 circles of hell pissed. So when the teacher had told us to get in our groups at the lab tables to talk about our city, we did. But Football Boy and Entitled Girl were on their phones for about most of the time we were in the group, and I had enough. So I asked them as kindly as I could, and here's how it went down. Hey guys, can you help us? We're trying to decide which green energy we should use for our city, and I just want to know your input.
Why should we pick? Aren't you the team leader? That's your choice, not ours.
He's asking because he wants something we can all agree on so no one will gripe about it.
Well, he's still the leader and he hasn't done any work, so let this be his only thing we do.
Beaver sausage, because we both spent at least 30 minutes a day during our Thanksgiving break to finish both of your parts of the project, and ever since we started, you two haven't done anything besides being on your phones the entire time.
Yeah, so?
So, the point is that this is a group project, not a 2-person project. I need you guys to at least help with the drawing, because Jonah's arthritis is flaring up again and it hurts him to use his hands at the moment.
Only old people get arthritis, and Jonah isn't old. Now he can quit faking. He's basically being lazy.
I'm basically through at this point. No, he isn't. He's been having it since I met him.
Wow, sensitive much? I bet this is why you don't have a girlfriend.
How do relationships and projects even mix?
No, Entitled Girl. He's one of those weirdo kids who would screw an anime body pillow.
Those have nothing to do with our project. You two haven't done anything since we were assigned this, and I don't care if you two get mad, but unless you do some big part of this project, forget getting any credit for it. And knowing you two need this grade as much as I do, I suggest you get over your freaking selves and do something, please. So to make the end short and sweet, Facebook... I knew I was going to do it at least once. Football Boy and Entitled Girl were given 0s for group participation and 5 daily grades, while me and Jonah both got at least an 89 for doing the work. Should I update this tomorrow or leave it be? Ah, man. That's unfortunate. Group projects are annoying because, I mean, I like group projects because I like people and, like, you know, I get to show off how smart I am. Just kidding, I just end up doing most of the work, or did when I was in school. But, yeah, don't take advantage of your group partners like that. Obviously, I don't need to tell you guys that because we're not stupid 13-year-olds here. I mean, if we do, then I'm not gonna be happy because 13-year-olds suck. Wow, look at this. Entitled Girl and Football Boy tried to make it seem like I didn't do anything, but I had proof, and now they are both failing the classes. Now, many people asked for an update. Well, here you go, and I'm gonna make this short and sweet. So today we all had to present the project, and I was pissed from yesterday, so I decided that I wasn't gonna give them any credit. And while some of the students were presenting, I was finishing our slides. And at the end, we had to give our overall group participation grade for each member, and when I presented the fact that they didn't do anything and gave proof in 2 slides afterwards, the looks on their faces were of pure anger, shock, and fear. Football Boy grabbed my shirt collar and threatened me to give them the credit they worked hard for. I simply told him, hey man, it is what it is. You do bullcrap moves, you get bullcrap results. Deal with the shiny egg goose for a major grade. Entitled Girl was yelling at me to add her credits, and I basically told her the same thing. But hey, it had to be done. If they didn't work on it, it, why give them the credit? I just want to thank everyone who commented on my last post and got my first part of the story past 100 upvotes. It's the first time I've ever had a post get past 10 upvotes, and it makes me happy. So thanks again, and I have more stories for the future. Now I hope everyone had a great and safe day, afternoon, night. Take care. Wow. That's some sweet, sweet karmic justice. I love it! This story's called Entitled Person Wants Me to Work for Free During My Holiday Break. Over the Thanksgiving holiday, I've been entertaining a couple of friends staying at my house for a few days. We hadn't seen each other for a good while due to Brovid, so it was nice seeing them. Friday morning, someone I know started texting me if I would do some screen printing for them so they could sell some shirts online. I explained how I'd help them, but it'd need to be next week when I returned to work. No, it had to be this weekend, and they goaded me relentlessly. I'm close to giving in just to get them to leave me alone. I'm trying to play Jackbox, which requires a phone, and it's kinda hard when your phone is blowing up with text. Seeing it's gonna be at least 1 to 2 hours just driving, I asked if they'd buy me some fast food I could eat on the drive from picking up the shirts to going to my printing studio. They scoffed and reminded me we weren't dating, and then talked about how much I'd be cutting into their profits with that request. The only thing they've had to pay for was shirts and shipping, to my knowledge. I then asked for $20, since asking for some cheap food somehow meant romantic intentions, and reminded them this is taking hours from a day I had set aside to hang out with friends I hadn't seen, not to mention gas money. They were livid and sent a wall of text basically saying I was madly in love with them and using this as a way of screwing them over. They give someone else my future business, I have tons of issues, I need to go to therapy, etc, etc. I then blocked them on all social media. I was kinda upset from the whole ordeal, but my friend staying with me thought it was hilarious and got me out of feeling bad. That's nice, but that person has some issues. They need to get over themselves, but it's nice you get to spend time with friends.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.